Hello everybody and welcome. In today's video I'd like to show you all of my fall making plans because it is currently the last day of September and it typically takes me the entire month of September to accept that summer is over and get excited about fall. And so I'm there. It's happened and I have lots of projects and I find that they're pretty coherent this season, so I'm excited to show you. I have three main goals this season. The first is I'd like to explore more earth tones, but cool earth tones. Because in the past, I would explore very autumnal colors such as jewel tone green, purple, Bordeaux red, and then red. And I couldn't understand why they didn't really work and why I didn't really want to wear them. And I think it's because I'm learning more and more that I prefer low contrast colors or softer colors. I think that those look better on me because I have very soft or low contrast colors in my natural coloring. So between my hair, my skin, and my eyes, there's very low contrast and it's kind of a soft contrast. And so I want to explore more cool earth tones. And then I'd like to integrate more textures into my clothes. So I have some really interestingly textured fabrics to show you today. And then my third goal is that my lifestyle has changed pretty radically in the last few months. So I lost my job for economic reasons in the summertime, in June, or July. So I'm no longer working in an office setting in the center of Paris. And I'm mostly working from home on this channel or taking advantage of this extra time at this moment to see more friends, get out. With my unemployment status, I get free access to museums in Paris, things like that. So I'm trying to take advantage of that during this period where I have more time. And then I'm also getting a little bit more into fitness, so I'm getting back into ballet. I used to do a lot of ballet a few years ago, and I had problems with my hip, and I'm still working that out, but I found a barre au sol or floor bar class that I love, and I'm gonna try a ballet class soon and see how it goes. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. I need more casual clothes to go with my more casual lifestyle because I have plenty of business casual or formal clothes. I don't need more of those. I have enough and I'm not wearing them as much right now. And I don't have very much to wear at home or just during everyday tasks that are comfortable but also seasonally appropriate and then also in seasonal colors. And so that's what I'd like to focus on this season. And I have a wide selection, but that reminds me because I did mention working in Paris. If you're new here, hello. My name is Sarah and welcome. I am originally from the East Coast of the United States, but I moved to France during my undergraduate degree and I made a life here. And so I've been here for a while. I live in the suburbs of Paris, and this channel is mostly all about my sewing projects, a little bit of knitting and a little bit of embroidery, but mostly I want to share my sewing experience or knowledge with you because that's how I learned, is through other creators sharing, and then also perhaps help to inspire you creatively. And so if that's interesting to you, welcome, and I hope you enjoy. So there's another thing I wanted to talk to you about really quickly in this intro. It's that in my life update sort of video that I published explaining my layoff and then what's going on in my life right now, a lot of you expressed interest in contributing to this channel somehow through Patreon or tips or like a coffee system. And I'm not ready for a Patreon because I don't have enough time to create consistent extra content at this time, but it is in my mind. But I did set up, YouTube has an option called Super Thanks, and you can make a one-time contribution as you like to the amount that you'd like if you want to contribute, or I've set up a coffee account if you'd like to offer me a coffee. For example, if you prefer that platform, it's just whichever one is your preference. And so if you'd like to contribute to this channel and help sustain it, then I would be very, very grateful. If you cannot at this time, that's absolutely okay, and you are also very, very welcome here. But I would be deeply grateful for any contributions you'd like to make, and it does make a difference. So without further ado, I have, I think, 11 or 12 sewing projects that I'd like to show you today, as well as one knitting project that I'd like to cast on soon, and then some embroidery plans. So let's get started. So my main goal this season is to make more pants. And I don't mean underwear, I mean trousers, if you say trousers where you are, but I will be saying pants because I'm American. And so I have mostly, in my adult life, been wearing skirts and dresses. Before, when I lived in the US, growing up, I wore mostly jeans and pants and almost never dresses and skirts. And it was only upon moving to France and living in France that I learned how to wear dresses and skirts because I would see how other women would style them and then be able to emulate that. And I find that it's much easier to wear skirts and dresses here because a lot more people wear them here, and so it's not as unusual. Whereas where I was growing up, it was kind of unusual. And so I have mostly been wearing those because I don't always feel comfortable in pants. I have a sensitive tummy, and so often I really don't like the sensation of having a woven waistband cutting into my tummy when I sit down, and I don't like how tight it can be around the seat of your pants and around the hips. And I find that with skirts, oftentimes it depends on the skirt. Not so much pencil skirts, but for example, a knit skirt. You have a lot more mobility. It's sometimes really warm, especially if it's a sweater knit. You can wear them with tights, which are kind of like mini sweaters for your legs, and you have a wide range of motion. It depends on what kind of skirt it is. But I have, for now, really preferred wearing skirts and dresses, but they are a bit more formal, especially the ones that I've made in the past. I have a few that are a bit more informal, but they're in colors that are more formal, such as black. And so I would like to focus on making pieces that I can wear at home. And there is a pair of pants that I made this summer called the Seamwork Joss pants. I made a whole vlog on making those this summer that you can watch if you'd like to, in a really beautiful celadon green linen. And those were the star of my summer. I wore those pants all the time in all kinds of situations, hanging around at home, going grocery shopping, going to the beach, going on a casual hike, and they were super, super practical. Even I was in Biarritz this summer for the Le Temps d'Aimer la Danse festival, which is a dance festival that goes on for 10 days, and they have a giga bar, which is just a massive bar, ballet bar that they put along the promenade of the main beach of Biarritz, and there's a free bar class that you can go to, and I went, but I wasn't planning on going, so I didn't have any fitness clothes with me, and so I just wore a tank top and my Seamwork Joss pants, and it was fine. I was even able to do grand battement, or battement, how do you say that in English? Plenty of mobility, and so I'd like to make another Seamwork Joss pants. And I'd like to try making them in a wool fabric for autumn and winter. And so I found this wool. It's a really drapey, lovely wool. It's not a wool twill. It's still got a really soft, bouncy feel to it. I'm not sure what the weave would be called. And it's just gorgeous. It's got this really lovely houndstooth color, like small houndstooth. And it's kind of like a gray, brown, and grayish taupe color, and they're just really soft brown colors, and I love it. And it's actually my friend who found this. I was shopping with a friend, and she's got a really great eye for fabric and style, and she found this, and I was like, oh. So I quickly found another cut because we were in Sacré-Coupon. I found this in Sacré-Coupon, which is a shop in Paris, and they sell cuts of fabric, and usually there are 3-meter cuts. So I have 3 meters of this, and oh, it's just gorgeous. So it's 100% wool, and I'd like to try making the Seamwork Joss pants because I think it could work. I think that they'll definitely be very casual, and because I have 3 meters, I can always make another pair of pants out of them too. I can get 2 pairs of pants out of this. So if I think of something a little bit more formal, I could. But I think that I'd like to see if the Seamwork Joss pants wouldn't be amazing in a really light wool like this. And I usually, when I'm around the house, I'll wear my pants or pajama pants with thermal leggings underneath, and I think that the Joss pants would have plenty of room for thermal leggings, and I think it would go with a lot more of the sweaters and things that I'm starting to make more of. For example, this kip sweater that I made I finished it last spring. It's in sort of this Poivre et Sel de Réaume Nature Ulysse yarn, and it's more beige than it is white, and I don't have any pants that would go with it because it doesn't really go well with blue or black, and so I have nothing to wear it with. I'm currently wearing pajama pants. Don't tell anybody with it because I'm home and I want to be comfortable, and so this will solve my dilemma of always wearing pajama pants at home for comfort. And I'm excited to make it and see how it turns out. The second pair of pants I would like to make is a Daughter Judy pattern, and it's called the Briar pants. And I've never worked with a Daughter Judy pattern before, but they look really classic and beautiful but contemporary at the same time, sort of like timeless contemporary pieces. And I would like to try making it in this fabric that I found on sale from Benitex, which is a fabric warehouse shop in Pantin, in the suburbs, the northeastern suburbs of Paris. And this is a 100% cotton, stretch cotton. It's got, well, yeah, it's got a good amount of elasticity to it, but it's still great for pants, so it's just a little bit of elasticity for comfort. And it's in this dark taupe or mocha color. I know the mocha color is very on trend right now, and all the better. And it's got this peach skin touch to it and texture, which is really, really soft and creates a very matte look to the fabric. And at first I thought, I don't know, but I'd like to try it. I think it looks really good. I think it would look good on me. I think this sort of brown looks nice. So if you can tell, this is more of a cooler brown, and that's what I'm talking about, like cooler earth tones. And I think it's going to be great as a pair of pants. So the Breyer pants feature a high-waisted cut and a more wide leg, sort of straight cut of the pant. And it just looks very classic. I'll just have to be careful of the rise, because I know that my torso is about an inch longer between my belly button and the seat of my pants. And so, yeah, I'll have to be careful about that. And then also grading between sizes. I haven't figured out which size exactly to make yet, but I will have to grade between my waist and my hips, and I think that the extra stretch in this cotton will make it easier to put on and take off. But yeah, they look like a really nice classic pair of pants. I think it'll look really great in these, and these will be both casual and great for more formal settings, like going out, because it's a sort of just really classic, lovely color, and it'll go with a lot of different pieces in my wardrobe. And yeah, I'm excited about making a second pair of pants. The third pair of pants that I'd like to try making is a pair of jeans, and it's a very ambitious project, and it scares me. And that might be silly because I have made this pattern before, and it is the Helen's Closet Brooks jeans that I made an entire vlog on about 2 years ago in the fall. Because while I was at Sacré Coupon and I bought that wool fabric, I found this really gorgeous, let me unfold it for you. I found this really gorgeous jean fabric, and it's sort of this indigo blue, but it's more of a grayish blue, and I love it. And it is not stretchy in the slightest, and the Brooks jeans, the Helen's Closet Brooks jeans, are meant for non-stretch denim. I think it's the perfect weight. It's very stiff. I haven't washed it yet, but you can hear it's very stiff. It's got a really lovely weave to it, or twill weave, and I think it's going to look lovely. But so the reason why I'm scared is that the Brooks jeans that I made 2 years ago in a lighter color blue, I think that because I made them right after my wedding and I had lost weight leading up to my wedding, I think it was stress. It wasn't on purpose at all. I think that when I made it for my body at the time, but I quickly went back to my regular weight after the wedding, and I tried them on last spring. And I was able to get them on after much fighting, but then I couldn't get them off. And I had to cut myself out of them. So I'll have to find a way to recycle the scraps of that pair of jeans. But I never wore them anyway. I think I wore them maybe once, and it's because they were really tight, even when I first made them. And I think that I didn't do the sizing correctly, and that I overcorrected when I was correcting the extra fabric that there was in the crotch. And so I'd like to try again. I won't be looking for as tight of a fit as I would for a pair of stretch jeans, because mostly what happens when I buy a pair of jeans, I can only buy it in one size, and I have to buy it based on my hip measurement because my hips are 2 to 3 sizes larger than my waist. And so that means that it gapes at the waist a lot. As in, when I lean over or bend down, there's, direct view down to my underpants and a breeze. And so that's what I was trying to avoid, but I think I overcorrected, and I think I chose sizes that were a little bit on the small size versus larger size, and so I'd like to try again. But I will have to make another toile. I have 3 meters of this fabric, so I could make a pair of shorts because the Brooks jeans are also has a shorts option to it. But man, it's daunting. But I would like to make something. I would like to have a second pair of jeans because the only pair of jeans that I have are the Closet Core Patterns ginger jeans that I made in 2018. And I no longer really want to wear them because they are so tight. And it's not really in fashion anymore, but that's besides the point. It's mostly because I don't feel comfortable in them. They still fit, and they fit really well. But yeah, it's not the sort of fit that I'm looking for right now. I really want something looser, and maybe it's age. I just don't want to be uncomfortable anymore. And so, yeah, I'd like to make a comfortable pair of jeans, and I hope I can figure it out. The next project is a very ambitious project that I recognize in advance that I might not finish until next spring. But my idea is I would like to make another trench coat because I have a trench coat that I made a long time ago. I think it's the Named Patterns, I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it below here. That I shortened to knee length and that I absolutely love, but I made it in 2018, so it is about 7 years old and it is showing its wear. So around the cuffs, around the edges, the lining is all ripped up on the inside. And I will be repairing it because I don't want to throw it away at all. And I think it's a really lovely shape. It's a very classic trench coat shape. And I'd like to somehow revive it and keep it in my wardrobe because I think it would be very versatile to keep. But I would like to try a different shape. And this is mostly inspired by a Cézanne coat that has taken the world by storm, and it's the Clyde coat, the Clyde trench coat that seems to be really, really popular. I find it really, really beautiful as well, and I keep seeing it around Paris. It's very popular here in Paris too, and every time I see someone wearing it, I first think, ooh, what a beautiful coat, and then I realize it's the Cézanne coat that I keep seeing. And so I think that means I need to make myself one because I can, especially because the Cézanne coat retails for, I think the trench versions, because they have wool versions as well, the trench versions retail for about 260 euros, and I can make that. And so what I like about that coat is the slightly oversized shape, the raglan sleeves, the collar that looks a little bit bigger and a little bit more pointed than a regular collar. It's not too small. I love the sleeve detail. So the Clyde coat sleeves are extra long so that you can roll them up and show off the lining, which is some kind of gingham that they chose. I think it's a cotton poplin or something. And it's entirely lined with cotton poplin rather than a classic lining or acetate lining. And it just looks really, really beautiful. And so I will be making the Paper Cut Patterns Eliza trench that I find resembles the Clyde coat pretty well in the style and the cut. And so this coat features 2 different lengths. You can make a longer midi length or in a hip length, sort of jacket length. It has raglan sleeves just like the Clyde coat, but it also features a back storm flap, I think it's called. It has an optional waist tie. It is fully lined throughout the sleeves and the body of the coat. And then it has sleeve cuffs as well, buttoned sleeves cuffs. So I finally found fabric. I have been looking for trench coat fabric since I had this idea in the spring. It took me 6 months. So this is the fabric that I found. I found it at Tissu Rennes, which is another fabric shop in the north of Paris in Montmartre. And it's also where I bought a good amount of my wedding dress fabric. So I love them. They have a sentimental place in my heart. And I found this. This is a cotton and polyester blend gabardine fabric. And so it's got that classic trench twill or weave to it. And because it is somewhat polyester, I suppose you could get this effect with a 100% cotton gabardine as well, but I didn't find one. It is water resistant, and I find that it has, maybe you can't see it, but it has like a sheen to it, like a luster to it, that I find really beautiful. And so this is a light beige, almost pinkish. It's called chalk, or craie, where I bought it, but it does have sort of like a tiny bit of pink, I think. It's not white. It might look white because it's much lighter than my sweater, but for example, I have white here in my shirt, so you can kind of see the difference. It's not quite white, but it's very light. It's lighter than the trench that I made before. And so I'm a little bit worried about it looking like a doctor's coat, but I think it'll be fine. I'd also like to imitate the lining of the Cezanne coat because I think that the gingham is really, really beautiful. I do have this cotton poplin gingham that I could use, but I think that the black and white is a little bit too stark. I think I'd like something softer, like softer colors to go along with this. Also, I think I'll need to underline this fabric because as you can see, it is not entirely opaque, which is a bummer because that's the only bad thing about this fabric and that I didn't see when I first purchased it. And so I think I'll underline it with a cotton voile or some kind of like a cotton poplin, something like that, cotton lawn, in off-white to give it structure and then also opacity. And then I want to find the lining that'll go with it. And so the way I'll be modifying the pattern is I'll probably not include the sleeve cuffs and I will be lengthening the sleeves so I can do the same as the Cezanne coat and just roll up the sleeves to show off the gingham lining that I find eventually. And then I will be adding, contrary to the Clyde coat, the waist belt that the Eliza trench features because I prefer dividing my waist when I want to, and I can always tie it behind in a knot in the back when I want to wear it open and just straight. And then I will be putting in the back storm flap because I think it'll be too complicated to modify it out. And then the Eliza trench features two different collar options. You can have a regular collar or a vintage collar that is larger and then more pointed, I think. And I really love large collars. I'm a little obsessed with them. I love when they rise up and I love large collars. And so I'll be making that one. And I'm really excited. I don't have my lining fabric yet. I need my interfacing and I haven't picked buttons yet. So this project might spill into other seasons, but I finally found my fabric and I'm so excited. So now to get to cardigans, sweaters, and tops. I have this fabric. So you might recognize this fabric because I have already purchased and made something with it. I just repurchased it because I love it. So this is a double knit fabric from Tissu Amer or Stoff Amer in Germany, and it's just so soft and gorgeous. And I just love this taupe, this light taupe colorway. It's almost pink. It looks almost pink, and it's just beautiful. And so previously, when I purchased it, I wasn't sure about the taupe color, and I made a Helen's Closet Elliott sweater with it. And it was one of the most worn pieces of the winter and spring season. And I'm so excited to wear it again now. But I find it to be the most beautiful, soft, taupey color. And so I'd like to make more pieces with it, especially because it's just cushiony soft, super elastic, and just luxury against the skin. So what I love about this double knit fabric is not only that it's pretty thick and relatively easy to work with, but it is mostly made out of viscose. And so it's not a polyester double knit fabric, which is mostly what you find in sweater knits, which means that it's not going to hold odors like polyester does after only a few hours. I just feel cleaner in viscose fabrics or viscose knits. And you can wash it. I wash it on a delicate cycle with my sweaters. It does pill a little bit, but you can always just brush it out. And I just love this fabric. And so what I'd like to make is the Seamwork Fig cardigan that I saw. It's one of their September patterns. It's one of their newest patterns. And I recently made a True Bias Bryn cardigan, which is similar in that it's pretty close fitting button-down cardigan. But the Bryn cardigan has a V-neck and the Fig cardigan has a classic crew neck. And the Fig cardigan is also, it's not as fitted, and it is meant for thicker knit fabrics, which is why I'd like to try it, and it just looks classic and beautiful. And so I'd like to make it in this taupe color. I'll have to be careful because this fabric is super stretchy and could stretch out pretty easily and then lettuce, like get wavy bits and look kind of awful. So I'll have to reinforce it and stitch very carefully with a walking foot. But I think that if I succeed, it's gonna look really, really gorgeous. So because I'm obsessed with this fabric, I bought 2 meters this time, and it's super wide. So I'm hesitating between 2 different second projects with this fabric, and I might be able to get all 3. But I'm kind of getting my hopes up, I think, and I might have to buy some more. Oh well. So I would like to try making either the Sew House 7 Tabor V-neck sweater because I made a version last winter in an off-white viscose double knit from Rascol, which is an online French haberdashery, in the V-neck sort of thick neckband version with long sleeves. And I love that sweater. It's so cozy and lovely, and I think it would be really, really great in this fabric as well. It's just really easy to tuck in and wear, and it keeps me nice and warm. Or I'd like to make another Seamwork Margot skirt. This is something I wear a lot because it's really easy to wear. It is a high-rise with a waistband knit skirt with slits, side slits for movement, and it is midi length. And I love it. It is so easy to wear, you have plenty of mobility, and it's like wearing a sweater around your legs. It's lovely. It depends on the fabric you work with. I did make a previous version in black in this fabric, so this exact fabric but in a black colorway. And it is a little bit too loose, mostly because this fabric is super elastic, so it's very comfortable around my hips and my legs, but it doesn't stay up at my waist. And so if I were to make it out of this fabric, I would add an elastic to the waistband to help stabilize it and keep it up at my waist rather than slipping down to my high hips. But I think that having a light taupe colored skirt, knit skirt, would be absolutely lovely and help fix my problem of having too many tops and not enough bottoms to go with them. So my next project I would like to make is another Sew Over Edie top, and you have definitely seen the Edie top if you've been watching this channel before, because I have made many versions of the Edie top. Usually I make them in a viscose or a bamboo jersey because I like that sort of slinky, very, very soft, luxurious feel, and I usually wear them to sleep in. But this one I'd like to make in a thicker, stiffer knit fabric. So this is a honeycomb cotton, 100% cotton knit fabric that I bought in a sale from Benitex. And it's in this really light, I think they called it putty. It's like a grayish or beige, yellowy beige color. And I think that it would look really lovely, like a softer color versus white or off-white. I have a white version of the Sew Over Edie top in a similar cotton textured fabric that has a bit less stretch than this one, and I wear it all the time. It's one of my absolute favorite tops. It's really easy to wear. I love the bateau neckline and the 3/4 sleeves of the Edie top. It's just so classic and lovely. It's one of my favorite knit tops to wear, and then the white one I wear a lot. Not to bed because it's too stiff, and this one I would wear out, like not to bed either, but I accidentally stained it permanently with rhubarb juice when I was making a strawberry and rhubarb pie one day a few years ago, and I have never been able to get those stains out. It looks dirty, it looks just brown. And so I haven't tried bleach yet. Maybe I should try bleach. Let me know what you think. I don't want to burn a hole in it either, but if I make this one, I'll be able to perhaps replace the white one in my wardrobe until I make another one and not feel so sad. My next project I would like to make in this off-white cotton rib knit fabric. I purchased this from Sew Tissu, which is one of my favorite fabric shops in Paris as well. And I bought 2 meters because I wanted to make perhaps 2 different things out of it, but for now I only have one idea for it, so I'll just have to have extra fabric for another time, which is great. So what I'd like to make with this is the Coralie Bijasson Eolati. Coralie Bijasson is a French pattern maker. All of her patterns are available in English as well, so if you're interested, don't hesitate, even if you don't speak French. I made the Eolati many times in the past, especially I modified the long sleeves into 3/4 length sleeves for other versions, black, blue, and white, I think. And then this summer I made another version in a textured rib knit, cotton knit, again, in an aqua color and short sleeves. And I love that version. The previous 3 that I made were in just a regular cotton knit, no texture, and just pretty, yeah, standard. And there's something about texture that I love. It's like, it's more of a squishy feel to it, and it doesn't have as much elastic recovery, but enough for this t-shirt. And it just feels more comfortable. It feels not as tight, and then it adds visual interest with the rib knit. And so I'd like to make another one. But this one I'll probably make in the 3/4 length sleeve version because a t-shirt would be too cool for this season. And I think that in this off-white, it'll just be another classic piece, layering piece to add to my wardrobe, pretty easy to make. And I just absolutely love this pattern for the balletic neckline and the very simple yet elegant shape of it. And yeah, it's one of my favorite t-shirts as well. And I think it'll look really, really nice in this rib knit. The second to last sewing project that I'd like to get to is with this mystery blend fabric that I purchased at Stocks Textiles Fabrics in Barcelona when I went for work last September. And I don't know what the composition is because I didn't take a photo of the label. And I'm not even sure if it was on the label or it was in Spanish and I didn't understand. But it's this really light, super stretchy rib knit fabric. And it's a darker beige. If you can see here, it's a little bit more of a creamy beige color. Can you see the difference? Is the lighting weird? Yeah, there's a huge difference between these two. It's more of a nude color, like there's a little bit of pink in it. I think it's lovely and it's super soft. I suspect that there might be a little bit of cashmere or something in it, something of the like. And I would like to make a Copelia cardigan, a Paper Cut Patterns Copelia cardigan out of this because I have two so far. I have one in a light pink bamboo knit fabric that I wear all the time, and mostly, so not all the time, that's not true. I wear it to my fitness classes. So I wear it to my floor bar classes or ballet classes because it's a great layering piece to put on at the beginning of the class, and once you warm up, take it off. It's very balletic as well. And then I made another version in a cashmere blend dark green fabric from Fabric Godmother this spring, which you can watch in my Spring Makes video that I published a while ago. Both of them serve completely different purposes. One is a layering piece for more formal settings, and another is a very casual piece for fitness classes. And this one I think will perhaps do both. It might be too much of a noble fabric to wash every week because I sweat in it every week, but I think that as a wrap, because it's super, super stretchy, it would be perfect. It would be really practical to have another wrap top in my wardrobe for my ballet classes because I might start going twice a week now that I have the time, and it would be super useful that way. So the last sewing project I'd like to get to this season, if I can, is this gorgeous light gray cashmere blend stretch fabric. I found this at Fabric Godmother, and it's the same exact fabric as the dark green fabric that I made my Copelia cardigan in, but it's light gray, and I haven't made anything with it yet. And I was thinking of making the Sew Over It Ultimate Tee because I've gotten more and more into knitting, but my skin's very sensitive to wool. I cannot have it against my skin, and I have not found any wool that my skin is okay with. So with this Durare Natura wool, it's a merino wool, it's not bad. It's a little itchy, but it's not bad. It doesn't sting. But merino wool, merino stings. Like it feels like a bunch of needles stabbing me continuously until I take it off, and then I have a rash that lasts 48 hours. So I have been needing more crew neck tees, long sleeve crew neck tees, like what I'm wearing underneath this sweater today. And I think that in a cashmere blend jersey, it would be just the most luxurious layering piece to protect my skin from itchy wool. And even if it wouldn't be as visible, and I probably wouldn't wear it by itself because it's so thin and see-through and stretchy, it would just be the most luxurious layering piece. And I want maximum contact with my skin. So that would be completing that goal. And yeah, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be super tricky. Just like with the Copelia cardigan that I made, I need to use a walking foot and tissue paper to keep the fabric from getting stuck in the needle plate. And then, yeah, I think it'll be fine, and I think I'll wear it all the time. So I have one previous make that I'd like to modify, and it is my Seamwork Milo cardigan. It's a little wrinkled here because it's been in storage all summer and I haven't worn it yet. But the problem with it is when I first made it, there's way too much fabric around the waist and the hips, at the side seams and in the back. It just sort of hangs and it looks really frumpy and not great. And so there's too much fabric there. I did talk about this when I first made this cardigan, and I got lots and lots of suggestions on how to fix it, so thank you very, very much for helping me out with that. I think what I'll do is I will cut off the hemband here, remove the excess fabric at the side seams, like re-sew the side seams from about the waist down and just take that fabric in. I'll have to be careful of the pockets, but if the pockets go into the side seam, so be it. And then I do have a little bit extra fabric of this fabric. This is rib knit fabric. It's a viscose rib knit fabric from Tissu Amer, as well, and it's really squishy and lovely. But it does wrinkle, as you can see. That's the downside of viscose. I think I have enough extra fabric to make another hemband and sew it on. And then this cardigan would be much more wearable because currently I don't wear it very often. It just feels really frumpy and extra swinging around the hips. And I think it has the potential of being, yeah, a great staple, like really cozy staple in my wardrobe. For knitting, if you remember, when I first was looking to make this kip sweater, this is the Crayabea kip sweater by Rebecca Clow, I ordered the wrong colorway of yarn. So this is the Ulysse yarn by Durerum Natura, and what I meant to make this sweater in, which is what it is in, is the Poivre Blanc colorway, which means white pepper in French, and I love it. But what I accidentally ordered first is the Poivre et Sel colorway, which is this one, which you can see is not at all the same color. My husband says that it looks like packaging twine, but I think it looks like a light taupe color, and I love the marled surface, and this is just a really lovely yarn to work with. I really liked working with it when I was making this kip sweater. And so I've been looking for a project to make with it. So after many hours of searching, I've decided to make, for the fall season, the Bergliebe sweater pattern by Isabel Kramer. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. I think it's in German. I hope it's in German, otherwise it'll sound really silly. But what I love about this pattern is it's one of those classic sort of yoke patterns where there's a lot of detail and texture at the yoke, and then it's knit in the round in a regular stockinette stitch all the way down. And I really love the design details. I'm not entirely sure how they're made yet. It looks like slipped stitches, or I don't even know yet. I'll have to look. But I love it. I think it's really, really pretty. And I like that it's a wider neckline. I don't have a lot of knits with wider necklines, and I really like that sort of neckline. I think it's really lovely and sort of shows off the neck and how delicate and elegant the neck can be. And the only thing that I have reservations about is that I will be making the smallest size because that just corresponds to my measurements best. And so I can't really play around with ease. And it looks like in the body there's a good amount of ease. And so I'm a little bit worried about it looking kind of lumpy and frumpy. But the sleeves look pretty fitted and nice, because that's my problem with the kip sweater. If I roll the sleeves down, they are not fitted and they kind of just hang. And I need to get the motivation to unravel it and just redo the sleeves from about here down. But not right now. And I really love that there's the same pattern repeat around the cuffs and the hem. And so yeah, I think it'll be maybe a little bit challenging around the patterns, but then a really relaxing knit when I'm into the stockinette parts of the pattern. And yeah, it looks simple and elegant and lovely, and I think that I have a few more cakes here. I think that in this color it would look really natural and lovely, and maybe it would look nicer on me in general, because this Poivre Blanc colorway is in the end pretty yellowy beige, and I'm not sure that, I think it's more of a warmer color, and this is a cooler color, so maybe it would look better on me. Anyway, we'll see. I'm sure that the husband will have many things to say about this color as I'm making it, because I'll be knitting it for a while. Oh well. For embroidery, I'm going to be continuing my traditional Japanese embroidery koginzashi classes with the Association Tarishine, because Ayako-san, who is the teacher behind Association Tarishine, is really great at teaching. I love her classes, and she is a traditional Japanese fiber arts specialist, and she teaches all kinds of traditional Japanese fiber arts. That's how I learned how to do sashiko embroidery as well. And we have a few more sessions that'll take place during the fall season. And what's interesting is each class increases in difficulty and intricacy, and it's really interesting to see the different designs that we can create with these relatively simple stitches. And I'm so excited. They're getting so much more, intricate and lovely, and I'm really excited to learn how to put them all together. And what I like about them is that they're not only geometric, but they add texture. That is what I'm looking for in my life, texture. That's why I love this Kip sweater, for example, with this herringbone texture. So I'll be doing that, but I also want to try making this kit. So this is a kit that I found when I was in the US back in May with friends. We were in Brattleboro, Vermont, and we went to Frabjous Wonderland Fibers. No, Frabjous Fibers and Wonderland Yarns. They have a shop there, and I found this, and it is an embroidery sampler, stitch sampler by Kiriki Press from Canada. And it's just super cute. It's got this little, I'll hide my face and maybe it'll focus. Aha! It's got this little snail going along a forest floor with mushrooms and leaves, and it just looks really beautiful and very foresty. And so it kind of fits the autumnal mood that I'm in at the moment. And so yeah, I want to try making it. It might be a little bit daunting. I've never done this kind of embroidery before, so hopefully the instructions are good. But yeah, I think it'll be cute. So there you have it. Those are all the projects that I have planned for this fall season, from very simple knit tops to a trench coat. So we'll see how many I get to. Let me know in the comments what you're planning on working on this fall season. I get so many ideas from you, so don't hesitate. I will link in the description below all of the patterns that I've talked about, even the patterns that I'm wearing or that I mentioned in passing, so don't hesitate to check that out as well. There's lots of info in the description. If you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, or if you would like, contribute a super thanks or a coffee. I would be very grateful. I hope you are all doing well, that your fall or spring season are going really well. I will see you again here soon with a new video. Take care and bye-bye.